I'd like to welcome you once again to the Miracle Kids Hour. We thank you so much for tuning in and being able to give us an opportunity to come into your houses and talk to you and speak to you about some of the things that we've learned throughout the week. My name is Tina and I'm the host for the show. I welcome you once again to the Kids Hour show. Before we start, I'm going to ask Gabriel to please give us an opening prayer.
Thank you, Tina. Heavenly Father, we pray for this day, we pray for this session. Please come and guide us, come and overtake this session. We pray that whoever is going to follow this program, I pray he or she takes a blessing to her house or home. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Gabriel. I'm going to ask the ladies to kindly introduce themselves before we start our show.
Thank you, Tina. My name is Nabagala Gift.
My name's Grace.
Yes, Grace and Gift, you're welcome to the show. Like I've already told you, Gabriel has given us the opening prayer. Thank you so much. So today we are going to talk about two people actually that our pastor has been talking to us about throughout the week, and that is Esther, or we can call her Queen Esther, and Mordecai. We are going to discuss about these two and how it was with them in the Bible and what lessons we learned from them as our pastor was preaching to us throughout the week. We're going to discuss and talk to you about who they are, what they did, what was their relationship, and finally, what are the lessons that we're able to learn from Queen Esther and Mordecai. Now I'm going to ask my team in the studio, who is Esther? What do you understand? Who is Esther to you?
Thank you, Tina. Esther was an orphan. An orphan girl, yes.
Esther was an orphan girl.
Yes.
Okay. What do you mean by orphan?
An orphan is a person who has lost a parent or two.
A parent or two. So Esther had lost her
parents. Yes.
Okay. Esther was an orphan girl. Esther had lost both her parents. Yes, Gabriel, who is Esther?
Esther is a Jewish girl.
Esther is a Jewish girl. Yes. So we are understanding that Esther was an orphan girl. She had lost both her parents, and Esther is a Jewish girl. Yes, Grace, who is Esther?
Esther is the daughter to Mordecai.
Esther is a daughter to Mordecai. But Gift has told us Esther had lost her parents. What is the relationship of Esther and Mordecai?
Mordecai is the uncle to Esther.
Mordecai is Esther's uncle.
Yes.
So after her parents dying, Mordecai became her parent.
Yes.
Kids at home, are we together? We are learning here. Esther is an orphan girl. Esther is a Jewish girl. And Esther is Mordecai's daughter. So that is the Esther that we are going to talk about today. Then who is Mordecai? Gabriel.
Mordecai was a gatekeeper to the king.
Oh yes, Mordecai was a gatekeeper at the king's gate. He was working at the king's gate. He was keeping, people were coming. What do gatekeepers do?
Gatekeepers, can I say, they guard the gate.
They guard the gate.
Yes.
So like someone coming in,
Yes.
they can ask you, where are you going? What do you want to do? So in other words, Mordecai, I think he was like an askari at the gate of the king. Thank you so much, Gabriel. Gabriel has told us Mordecai was a gatekeeper. He was guarding at the king's gate. Yes, who is Mordecai?
Mordecai was the caretaker of Esther.
Was the caretaker of Esther. Because they've told us that Esther had lost both her parents and Mordecai had raised her. So Mordecai was her caretaker of Esther. Thank you so much, Gift. Who is Mordecai, Grace?
As I had started in the beginning, he's the uncle to Esther.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Mordecai is also a Jew.
He's a Jew, yes. Because we've seen that Esther is a what? is a Jew. So meaning Mordecai, her caretaker, was also what? A Jew. So Mordecai and Esther are both Jews. And Mordecai is the caretaker of Esther. Mordecai was a gatekeeper at the king's gate. That was his job. That is what he was doing. Thank you so much. Yes, Gift.
There is something we forgot. Esther was also a queen.
She was a queen. Yes, even though in the beginning she later became a queen. So we know her as Esther, but also later as Queen Esther. Thank you so much. So kids at home, are we following? Because this is really a very good discussion. We are learning about Esther and Mordecai. And my team is really answering the questions. Esther was a Jew. Esther was an orphan girl. Esther was raised by Mordecai. Mordecai was also a Jew, and he was a gatekeeper at the king's gate. Now, when Mordecai was at the king's gate, there's something that he used to do in the Bible that our pastor was telling us. He refused to bow before someone. Who was that?
He refused to bow before Haman.
Before Haman. Who was Haman?
Haman was the prince, the crown prince of Persia.
He was the crown prince of Persia. Okay. Who was Haman? Why did Mordecai refuse to bow?
To me, I think Mordecai refused to bow to the prince because he was a Jew and they used to worship God only.
So he refused. They were telling him that bow to Haman.
Yes.
And for him, he was saying
that he's a Jew, he can't do it. Yes.
He can't bow before Haman. He can't bow before.
I think they saw it as an act of worshipping idols.
Exactly. That is why he refused to bow. So these people used to, every time Haman would pass, they would bow before Haman. And then Mordecai said, no, me, I will not bow before Haman. Because of what gift?
Because he was a Jew.
Because I am a Jew, I will not bow before man. Because I worship only one God, I don't bow to idols, like Gabriel has told us. So Mordecai is a man who refused to bow before Haman because he was a Jew. Thank you so much. What do you learn from that? That was really something that touched me during the week. Refusing to bow before someone because I'm a Jew. Why? Why would you? Who is a Jew?
What I learned is it's bad to worship idols.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad to, it's somehow good to worship people like pastors and God, but a prince who worships idols. As Mordecai, as King Haman, Prince Haman told Mordecai to bow before him, it was like an act of worshipping idols. So what I learned is it's bad to worship idols.
To worship, because even the law of God says that we worship only one God. Now, Gabriel, we don't worship pastors. Even pastors, we don't worship them because they are also men. We worship only one God. And that is why Mordecai said, me, I will not worship Haman. I will not bow down before a what? A man. So we just respect our pastors, we respect our parents, but we don't worship them. We worship only one God, and that is the creator of heaven and earth. And that is why Mordecai said, I will not bow before you. I will not kneel before you. I will not bow my head before you because I am a Jew and I worship only one God. Yes, Gift.
From that scenario, I learned to always know who I am.
And what is that? Who are you?
I'm a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone is to tell me to get involved in something that my faith doesn't allow, I will just tell that person I'm a Christian because I know who I am.
Yes, you know who you are. Who are you, Grace?
I'm a Christian. I'm a born again.
You are born again. So what don't born again do?
They don't drink
water?
alcohol.
They don't drink alcohol. Gabriel, what else do the born again do? If someone tells you to do something and then you have to tell them, no, me, I am born again.
I think born agains don't smoke.
They don't smoke. If someone tells you to smoke, what would you tell them?
Am I born again?
I am born again. Just like Haman. We need to be like, like Mordecai, sorry. We need to be like Mordecai. Don't do something that you know is against your faith. Just tell people, I am born again. I am born again. I don't do that. Just like Mordecai did. Yes, Gift.
And about that, I would like to advise the kids out there. If someone is to tell you to do something that's contrary to your faith, you don't even need to explain a lot. Just be like, I'm a Christian. You don't have to be like, just say I'm a Christian and just stick to that.
I'm a Christian. Let's add on, I'm a born again Christian.
I'm a born again Christian.
Yes, I'm a born again. Don't explain yourself. Just tell them I'm born again. Gift, why don't you go to discos?
Because I'm a born again.
I'm born again. Gabriel, why don't you steal sugar?
Because I'm a born again.
I'm born again. That is really, really nice. Why do you share what you have with others?
Because I'm a born again.
Exactly. I am what? I'm born again. Why do you respect your parents?
Because I'm born again.
Why do you love the Lord?
Because I'm born again.
Why do you serve God?
Because I'm born again.
Why do you wake up at night to pray?
Because I'm born again.
Because I am born again. You understand? That is why also Mordecai did. He said he was a Jew. So we should also be like Mordecai. I am born again. I don't do that. I am born again. I love the Lord because I am born again. I go to church on Sunday because I am what?
Born again.
Because I am born again. Thank you so much. That is really a powerful statement that we all have to learn. That is what we want you to take home today. That is what we want you to have in your life today, that you are born again. Don't explain yourself to people. Don't compromise your beliefs and your values because you're what? You're born again. Why do you do housework at home, Gift?
Because I'm a born again.
Because you're born again. Why do you read the Bible, Gabriel?
Because I'm born again.
Because you are born again. So because you're born again is why you do all that you have to do, or that is why you don't do certain things, because for you, you are born again. A born again special?
Yes.
Yes, just like the Jews, we are special because we are children of God and we need to live by the standards of the Lord. Thank you so much. I would like us to understand, we are talking about Haman, but who is Haman? Why was Mordecai not bowing before Haman?
Haman was the second prince of Persia.
What was he to the Jews?
He was an enemy to the Jews.
He was an enemy to the Jews. Haman did not like the what? The Jews. What did he do?
He requested a decree from the king so that they can kill all the Jews.
He requested for the Jews to be killed. So he planned to have all the Jews what? Killed and destroyed. Yes, Grace. Anything else?
Haman used his authority in a bad way to destroy the empire of Persia. Yes.
Oh, he wanted to destroy them.
Yes.
You see Haman. So I think Haman was a very bad man. Not so. Why would he want to destroy other people? That is not good. That is what Haman was doing is not a good thing. Yes, Gift.
Haman got the idea of destroying the Jews from that scenario which I've seen where Mordecai refused to bow down to him. So he got angry and even he got bad advice from the people around him.
He got bad advice.
Yes.
Oh yes, the people told him that he should kill the Jews.
So since Mordecai was a Jew, he decided to extend all his anger to all the Jews.
Wow. Thank you so much, Gift.
And what I think, the king did not believe in Mordecai's God. Yes.
Oh, so because, but you see, Mordecai was at the gate, Gabriel. You told us Mordecai was at the gate, and he had, maybe he didn't have access to the king. What I think that Haman tried to mislead the king. Don't you think? Because he was close to the king, he was more closer to the king than Mordecai. Just like I may be close to you, Gabriel, and then I try to influence you to do something that is not right. But maybe someone at the gate, when they also get close to you, they may be able to influence you in a good way or a better way. I think that is why the king at first did not believe in the God of the Jews. But thank you so much for your submission. Now we see in the Bible, Grace has told us that Mordecai, Haman, had made a decree to kill and destroy all the Jews. And then we see Uncle Mordecai wearing sackcloth and coming to the gate. Why was Mordecai in sackcloth? Because we see that he wears sackcloth and then he comes to the gate of the king. Why was he wearing sackcloth?
It's normal. Okay, this thing of sackcloth is normally seen in the Old Testament, where people would wear sackcloth to show grief. It was a sign of mourning and fasting. In times of trouble.
In times of trouble. So why is Mordecai fasting?
He is fasting because he wants the Lord to save the Jews from a decree that Haman had declared to kill all of them.
Oh, are you learning something? Are you following back at home? Because now it's becoming interesting. First, they told us that Haman made a decree to kill all the Jews. And now we see Mordecai wearing sackcloth and coming at the king's gate. And now we are seeing that they are getting into a fast, because Gift is telling us a sackcloth is a sign of grief and fasting. So the Jews are fasting. Grace is telling us that they are fasting because there's a decree, there's a document that Haman has signed to destroy all the Jews. Why is he destroying all the Jews? Because he does not like them. Because Mordecai refused to bow before him, so he wants to destroy all the Jews. At this point, we declare Haman an enemy of the Jews. Haman is someone who wants to destroy all the Jews, and he has convinced the king to make a decree and kill all the Jews in the kingdom of the king. Wow. So the Jews decide to fast. So Mordecai decide to wear sackcloth and come to the king's gate and fast. Are you learning something? Gift, what are you picking? What do we do in times of trouble? Gabriel, what do you do in times of trouble?
In times of trouble, I get more closer to God.
Yes, you get more closer to God. Don't run away from the Lord. Just like the Jews, when there was a time of trouble, they came more closer to God. Mordecai went and took off his clothes and wore a sackcloth, which was a sign of fasting and praying to the Lord. Yes, Gift.
I learned to always involve God in my situations. Yes.
When there's trouble,
yes,
involve God.
Yes. You know, Tina, most people, when they get problems, the first thing that drops into their mind is going to the witchcraft. Yes, they be thinking that it will be the fastest means to like remove all their problems. But what I learned from Mordecai, since he knew who he was, when such a thing happened, and that shows that he trusted his God. When that decree was passed, instead of looking for another alternative or telling all his friends, let's run away, he just trusted in God and sought him in the situation he was in. Yes.
Thank you so much, Gift. When trouble comes, run to God. When trouble comes, involve the Lord. Do not go to witch doctors. Do not go into sorcery. Just run closer to the Lord and involve the Lord in your situations. Thank you so much, Gift. Now, the Jews, we see Mordecai. He's representing the Jews. Now, at this time, what is happening to Queen Esther? We also see later on Queen Esther going before the king. Why is Esther going before the king?
Esther is going before the king to plead on behalf of the Jews.
Okay.
Yes. So that they are not massacred or killed as the law had passed. Yes.
Yes, Gift.
As Grace has said, I think Queen Esther went before the king because he was told to go before him by Mordecai.
Oh, yes. Esther is going before the king. One, because Mordecai is telling her to go there. Mordecai is her uncle, and she listens to him. So Mordecai tells her, you go to before the king. And then Esther is going there because she wants to plead for the Jews. After the decree has been passed, we see Esther going before the king and pleading that the Jews are not killed, just like Mordecai had planned. Gabriel, would you plead for your sister if she had done something wrong? Would you go before your father and plead for her?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Because Esther says in the Bible, if I die, I die. It was a situation of life and death. Esther was going to die. Gabriel, if I did something wrong, would you plead for me? Would you go and plead for me and say, please forgive Tina? You know.
No.
Why? Because Esther is pleading for people. So why wouldn't you plead? You won't plead for your people.
Okay. I would. Yes, I would.
You would. Okay, thank you so much. So we are learning that Esther is pleading for her people, and she goes before the king. It is a situation of life and death. But Gabriel is telling us he won't plead for people, but he later says that he would plead for people to be saved and to be given another chance in life. We see Esther pleading for the Jews, and then later the Jews are saved. But we have some lessons we learn from Esther and Mordecai, and maybe also Haman in this story. What are some of those lessons that we learn? One, from Esther. What do you learn from Esther?
Esther was a disciplined girl.
Esther was a disciplined girl. How was she disciplined?
She obeyed she obeyed Mordecai in every situation.
Okay. Esther obeyed Mordecai in every situation that she was doing. Because Mordecai had raised her?
Yes.
Yes, but also even when people have not raised you, as long as they're your guardians and maybe they're in those high positions, you will be able to obey them and listen to what they're saying. Yes, Grace?
The lesson I learned from Mordecai.
From Esther.
Oh, from Esther.
We're talking about Esther now.
Oh, okay. I learned that God raises us from the dust to higher positions.
Okay.
Yes.
How?
Because Esther was an orphan girl, as we had stated in the beginning, but then because God favored her, he granted her the position of being queen, and for her being queen, there is a reason as to why she became queen, which she didn't know immediately, but in the long run she got to know, to plead, and that reason was to plead for the Jews not to be killed. Yes.
So, yes, Gift.
To add on to Grace's point, from that scenario, I learned that God puts for us destiny helpers.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. Destiny helpers are the people who help us. God are the people God puts for us to help us in our journeys.
Okay.
So, in that scenario, it showed that Esther was a destiny helper of the Jews. As Grace has said, that God puts us in certain positions for a certain purpose. So Esther, I believe God raised Esther from dust to grace, like the position of a queen, because he knew that some time to come, God sees the end
before the beginning. Yes.
So I believe God put Esther in that position because he knew something would happen. And our pastor has been telling us that yes, we go through certain things, but God put for us people to help us out, people to give us read. Okay, in the Bible, in that part of Esther, I don't know if you can read it.
Yes, we can.
Esther chapter 4. Esther chapter 4, verse 14.
Yes. You can read for us.
This chapter, before I read, it brings out that point of, before I read it, it shows that, it kind of brings out that point of Esther being a destiny helper. Esther chapter 4, verse 14.
Yes.
It says, if you keep quiet at a time like this, help will come from heaven to the Jews, and they will be saved. But you will die, and your father's family will come to an end. Yet who knows? Maybe it was a time like this that you were made queen.
Okay, wow.
Yes, in this area it shows that Esther was a destined helper to the Jews, but it also teaches us that if God gives you a certain purpose to do, let me say, if you're a destiny help of someone and you don't do your purpose, God uses another path or another person to provide that purpose. Yes.
If God puts you in a position
to do His will or to do something that He has commanded you to do. Let me say, if God tells you, if your pastor comes and you're like, Tina, you have to give, God has told you to give 200,000. Let me say, into the land project, and you disobey, God can use another path to be able to
do His work.
Yes.
Okay. So there I am a destiny helper, but if I don't stand up to my responsibility, help can come
from somewhere
else. Thank you so much, Gift, for showing us how Esther is a destiny helper. Yes, Gabriel, what do you learn from Esther apart from her being disciplined?
What I learned from Esther was trusted God. She gave her what? Let me say. She gave her whole life to God. Yes.
She was a Jewish girl. She loved the Lord and she gave her life to the Lord. Thank you so much for the lessons that we are putting forward about Queen Esther. Now let's move to Mordecai. What lessons do we learn from Mordecai in the Bible and in all that our pastor has been teaching us during the week?
As we said, Mordecai was a Christian or born again. He believed in himself. He was a born again. He trusted his God.
Okay. Mordecai trusted the Lord and he believed in himself. We see that in times of trouble, Mordecai puts on sackcloth and he seeks the Lord. He involved the Lord in his situation. That shows us that he trusted the Lord and he knew that the Lord would save him out of his bad situations. Yes, what do you learn from Mordecai?
Still, I'll bring back the point of I learned to always know who I am. Yes, Mordecai knew who he was. When Prince Haman told him to bow before him and pay homage to him, he refused because he knew he was a Jew, and Jews only bowed down to God and not man. So I will still say, and I will still advise the kids out there and the youth to always know who they are. Yes.
You are born again. You know that song, Grace of Snatchy? I know who I am. Can you sing it for us?
I know who God says I am, where He says I am, what He says I am. I know who I am. I'm walking in power. I'm walking miracles. I live a life of favor, 'cause I know who I am.
Thank you so much, Grace. So that song really should also speak to you, that you know who you are. Just like Mordecai, he knew who he was. He walks in power. He was a Jew. Know that you are born again. What God says about you is who you are, not what the world says about you. Mordecai knew who he was. He was a Jew, and he was not going to bow down to any man. He was not going to worship any idol. Thank you so much, Grace, for the song. And now, about Haman. What things do you learn from him? Because we saw that Haman was an enemy of the Jews. But what do you learn from him?
What I learned from Haman, I learned to not to use my authority to destroy people, but to unite them instead. Yes, because he was given a big position, because he played the role of being faithful to the king. We see that in the beginning he was promoted because he saved the life of the king. Yes, there were people who wanted to plot to kill the king. Yes, but Haman played the part of saving the life of the king and was promoted to that position. But then, when he was promoted to that position, he instead of uniting the whole empire, he wanted to destroy some part of some tribe called the Jews, so that they get out of his way, because he was an enemy to them. So if you are a leader at school, don't promote this unity. You promote unity, because the moment you promote this unity, your empire, your school is scattered, because united we stand, divided we fall.
Wow.
Yes.
So when you become a prefect, when some people become a prefect, they use their positions to destroy others. They use their positions, not like Queen Esther, because Queen Esther, for her, we see her pleading for her people and defending them. But we see Haman using his position to destroy the people. So Grace is telling us that when you become a prefect at school, when you become a leader, don't use your position to bring disunity in the school, but use your position to unite the people. Yes, Gabriel.
To add on Grace's point, this king took God's position. He wanted to kill God's people, as in, I can say, he took God's authority. The king, as Grace said, they just promoted him, so he wanted to use God's authority and the king's authority to kill the Jews.
Okay, thank you so much, Gabriel. Yes, Gift.
To me, I learn to always take in good advice.
How?
Some of the decisions Haman made were because of the advice he got from the people who were surrounding him. Yes. So I learned to always take in good advice. Since I'm a Christian, I believe most of us, since you're Christians, we know what's good and what's right. Yes, because of the knowledge we receive from the Bible, the knowledge we receive from our pastors. So, because of Haman used to take in bad advice from people, he used to make bad decisions. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Gift. Is there any lesson that we can pick from Haman? For me, what I learned is that I should not fight with people. What I learned from Haman, because Haman opened a war against the Jews, but he ended up dying himself. So when you try to do bad, bad will come back to you. You understand? When you sow good will come back to you. Haman was sowing a bad seed. He wanted to destroy the Jews, but he ended up as the one who was destroyed, together with his sons also. They were later destroyed. But you see what Haman planned for the Jews, what he planned for Mordecai, he got. So do not plan bad for people. Don't sow bad seeds, because when you sow them, they are going to come back to you. And what you plan for other people will happen to you. So sow good seeds. Be a good person, just like Mordecai and Queen Esther, just like as they were. Thank you so much. We are trying to come to the end of our show. Yes, Gift.
To add on what you have said, I learned not to fight with God's people.
Yes.
You know that the Jews were God's people.
Yes.
And our pastor has been telling us Jews had a favor, a certain favor that was high. Like, so if you fight with God's people, remember it's God who fights for them. And our pastor always tells us that God pays in checks.
His check doesn't bounce.
Yes, it doesn't bounce. So I see, since a man fought with God's people, in the end he's the one who got destroyed, he's the one who lost. So I would like to advise the kids out there not to always fight with God's people, like even people who fight pastors. Yes, it's really bad to fight God's people, because it's God who fights for them. And you know God is all powerful. God can use many ways to fight you back. Yes.
And he knows where he's all powerful. He's everywhere, so you can't even run away from him.
Yes, and he knows, remember, he's the one who created you. So I would like to advise the kids out there to always avoid fighting God's people, because it's God who fights for them. Yes, they don't do anything by their own strength. Yes.
Thank you so much. Grace, what other lesson can you give us about Mordecai? Yes, Gabriel.
To add on, to give its point, I think some people fight pastors. As pastor says, most people go out of church, they start, fighting him, fighting the ministry. So I advise the kids, the youths, to stop. Okay, to what can I say?
To stop fighting.
To stop fighting God's people.
Okay, because when you fight God's people, you end up as the one destroyed. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for all the lessons that you are learning. Okay, yes.
What I learned from Mordecai, he used the opportunity. He did not despise his status to look out for opportunity. Remember, he's a gatekeeper, and he's in a position where anyone can despise him. But then he looked at the opportunity of Esther being queen, and he went forward and blessed Esther to go and also contest for the position of being queen. And another thing, when he was blessing Esther, he requested Esther that Esther shouldn't disclose her origin of being a Jew yet. So originally Esther was called Hadassah, but then she used the name Esther. That shows us that Mordecai is wise. Yes, as a person he's wise, and he's not despising himself because I'm a gatekeeper. Opportunity has come. I cannot also participate. I cannot bring in my family also to participate for big positions. So you shouldn't despise yourself as a kid. We are all created for greatness. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Grace. Mordecai did not despise himself, even if he was a gatekeeper, but he knew who he was, and he didn't look down on himself. Grace, you mentioned a point about Esther being Hadassah at first, and then being called Esther, and then Mordecai telling her not to disclose who she was. For me, I learned that Esther listened to Mordecai, because Mordecai was her caretaker. How many of us listen to our parents? Our parents tell us to do certain things, but how many of us listen to what our parents say? Esther listened to Mordecai, and she did not disclose who her true identity was. She kept on calling herself Queen Esther, and we also read about her as Queen Esther. It is later on that we learn that she was actually, her original name was Hadassah. So I urge you back at home, kids, please listen to your parents. Listen to what your teachers tell you at school. Do not do otherwise. If your parents tell you, do this, please do what your parents tell you to do, because our parents always know best. Mordecai knew best. If Esther had disclosed that she was Hadassah, that she was a Jew, she wouldn't have become a queen. She wouldn't even have gotten close to the palace. She wouldn't have been able to enter into the palace. So we need to listen to our parents, because our parents know what is best for us. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask Grace to give us a wrap-up for everything that we've been discussing today as we come to the end of our show.
Thank you, Tina. To wrap up everything, we have discussed. We are looking at Esther and Mordecai here, and remember they had a beginning, and this beginning wasn't good, which shows us that God knows our end, because as Gift had said, God knows our end before, like we are in the beginning, but God knows our end. Yes, so we see that Esther was an orphan, Mordecai was a gatekeeper. These are despised positions, but both of them ended up in higher positions, because when Haman, we see that Haman at the end of that day, he was hanged, and Mordecai inherited his position. So God has good plans for us as people, and during the week, Pastor said that we as Christians, as born agains, we are to reign with kings. That is where we should be. We should be reigning with kings higher in the sky, where there is wider view. Yes, higher positions. Yes, so we should look up to God as kids, and don't despise our beginnings, because God pulls you from somewhere. God does not just pull you from anywhere. He uses where you are to pull you to a certain position. Yes. So during the week, I saw Pastor trying to bring out a song, though I wasn't near him at that point, but he was trying to show us exactly what he was explaining, and he was looking for someone to sing that song. It is called Where We Belong.
Oh yes.
Yes.
God lift us up.
Yes, God lift us up where we belong. So let me wrap up the show while singing that song for you guys. Yes. So it goes like this. I'm singing the chorus.
Okay.
Yes. So it goes like this. Lord, lift us up where we belong, where the eagles fly from the mountain high. Lord, lift us up where we belong, far from the world we know, where the clear winds blow. Yeah, so that's the chorus.
Can you sing the chorus again?
I sing it again?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
It goes like this. Lord, lift us up where we belong, where the eagles fly on the mountain high. Lord, lift us up where we belong, yeah. Far from the world we know, where the clear winds blow. Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much, Grace. Gift, can you try? Gab, can you try? No, you can't. Thank you so much, Grace. That is really a very powerful song. Yes, Gift, do you want to say something?
Yes. I would like to give the kids out there a little take home. Yes. As you have been seeing in our whole story, I would like to advise the kids out there to always know who you must always know who you are. And another thing, you must always use the positions God has put you into to serve Him. Yes.
Know who you are. Use the positions that God has put you into to serve Him and to show Him who you really are and what you stand for. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Gabriel. Thank you so much, Gift. And thank you so much, Grace. Also, thank you for our songs that you've been able to sing for us. Those are really powerful songs. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for tuning in every Sunday to listen to us and to allow us to come into your homes and talk to you. Thank you so much, parents. Thank you. We know that you buy the data. We know that you allow the kids and you provide the gadgets for them to be able to listen to us. Thank you so much. We don't take this for granted. Thank you so much, everyone. We hope that you've learned something from Queen Esther, from Mordecai, and also from the enemy of the Jews, Haman. Thank you so much, everyone. We wish you a lovely Sunday from the kids, from the Miracle Kids Hour show. Bye-bye.